Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Campaign contribution limits and changes to compensation and pension packages for San Bernardino County workers, just a couple of the things we'll be talking about with County Supervisor Janice Rutherford. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, right off the bat, what are some of the changes you're proposing for the campaign contribution limits?
Well, first, we don't have any campaign contribution limits in San Bernardino County. And over the past couple of years, it's certainly created the perception on the public's part that supervisors are up for sale and that we make our decisions based on who writes the biggest check or that we exact revenge for people for not writing checks.
So no campaign contribution
there
limits
are none.
at all right now?
If you have an extra $1 million and you'd like to write the check, you're allowed to do that.
I wonder what that could buy me.
And that,
what are you
that's
proposing? What are the limits that you think would be fair?
Right now, I'm suggesting that we mirror the limits that are already in place for California state legislators. Their districts are about the same size as ours. County supervisors represent about 400,000 people. State assembly people, just a little more than that. The reason, though, that I wanted to mirror the state limits is because instead of creating a new bureaucracy in our county to enforce the contribution limits, I want to contract with the state of California Fair Political Practices Commission. They already have an experienced, bipartisan, nonpartisan group that does this enforcement and is pretty much hated by everyone, which means they're doing a good job. And I want to contract with them, pay them for their services of educating our local candidates, auditing campaign statements so that the public knows that what's written down is what really happened, and enforcing the contribution limits that we enact here.
You'd also like to reduce the amount of money elected officials earn. You have put your money where your mouth is, and you are receiving less compensation. What are you proposing for others as well?
What I proposed for county supervisors, the 5 of us who sit currently, is that we reduce our benefits package by 40%. Our salaries are already set by the voters according to Measure P, which was passed several years ago, so we can't do anything about our salaries. But we had a gold-plated compensation package. It included, in addition to the pension system, 401ks and 401as and all sorts of extra money. So we took a look at that, we cut it back down so that it's pretty much the same as other management level staff, and I've already signed away 40% of my benefits.
What do you say to people who say you're not going to get the best candidates if you do this?
I don't think that I've seen that to be the case. I think we're paid fairly. We're paid in a range with other county supervisors in Southern California, with the exception of LA, because LA is a little off the mark and spikes everything. But our benefits are now comparable with what colleagues earn elsewhere. Perfectly reasonable to attract good people.
Pension reform on a lot of people's minds locally and throughout the state. What are you proposing here?
I think we need serious pension reform, but our county's hands are a little tied in that we're governed by the state's 1937 Pension Act. So I'm supportive of Governor Brown's proposals, which includes really common sense reforms. Like your pension should be based on your actual compensation and not a lot of extras that you spike it with your last year. We should perhaps look at changing the retirement age. Maybe it made sense years ago when people died younger to have state employees retiring at 55, but we're all healthier and living longer. We need to work a little longer too. So there's some real simple things that I hope the state enacts that we're then able to mirror in San Bernardino County.
Okay, and a couple other issues we can cover very quickly.
Sure.
One of them having to do with the food trucks. They've been banned in Riverside and San Bernardino counties, the only counties in the state where they have been banned. What's on the horizon there?
And I haven't been given a good reason for that ban, so I am proposing that we relax those limits and allow food trucks to operate. But because it's new, there's a little sense of nervousness. So what we're doing is changing some technical language with the county codes to allow the trucks to operate on a limited basis, depending on what an individual community wants. So a city that wants to embrace them is going to be able to do that, and a city that's a little more leery can still keep the cap on a little bit.
Okay, well, we covered a lot of ground very quickly, and we appreciate you being here.
Sure,
today.
happy to do it.
Thank you very much, and thank you for tuning in. Stay with us. More HLN coming up right after this.